Here is a hypothetical situation for you all. So imagine you're at a restaurant, chilling, eating your food, having a great time, then a fly comes and lands on your meal from out of nowhere. What are you going to do in that situation? If you're asking me, and probably 99% of the population, we'd just simply swat away the fly and continue on with our meal. But no, the person in today's first story decides to go one step further. Why? I don't quite know, but let's get into it. Karen demands free wrapped scone as a fly touched it. So, I go to a market with my mum any Friday that I can, and one day I'm managing the baked goods, and here comes a Karen haircut. Now, as she is browsing our goods, she starts this conversation. Oh my god, a fly touched that scone, so can I just take it for free? No, you can't, as we put cling film across our baked goods so flies can't touch them, and they only touch the cling film. But I saw it, so just give me the scone. The scone was literally 80 cents, by the way. At this point, my mum comes back and asks, what's going on? Well, I was just set, but Karen cuts me off. A fly touched this scone, and I kindly asked to take it for free, and your kid snapped at me. Mum knew I wouldn't do that, so said the same thing I did about our scones being wrapped. But I literally saw it on the scone. That's when I had the genius idea to maliciously comply. Are you sure a fly touched that scone? Yes, that's what I've been saying. Okay, and I proceed to pretend to put the scone in a bin. I really dropped it in a box so I could have it later. What did you do that for? I wanted that scone, you idiots! Mom, please calm down. We have a rule where if a fly touched a product, we bin it. Karen was now visibly annoyed. I wanted that scone. Give me another one for free. No, I'm not giving you a free scone. They're literally 80 cents. Karen then stomps off complaining, and I decide to take out that exact scone and eat it. God, revenge tastes good. Well, to me that story felt like about 5 different subreddits all blended into one, but yeah, no doubt, not paying 80 cents for a scone is definitely the work of a choosing beggar. I also just totally don't get what this woman is saying here, because you literally told her multiple times, yes, a fly may have touched the scone, but, you know, there's cling film over it for that very reason, to stop it getting infected or to stop, you know, bacteria being passed onto the scones from flies. So no, it didn't really. But the entitled woman clearly didn't care about that, did she? Now moving on to our second story. If you want the cat that I'm getting rid of, you will have to pay me for it. This happened a few weeks ago, but I've just discovered this community, so I thought I'd post it. So, I was browsing an online local marketplace, Gumtree, looking in the pet section for a rabbit hutch. I was scrolling down the pet section when I saw a picture of a frail looking black cat with the title, Need Home ASAP, Moving. I couldn't ignore this despite not looking for a cat. There have been so many horror stories about people picking up free cats from Gumtree to use as bait in dogfights. I clicked on the picture and the listing said something along the lines of 10-year-old female cat free to a good home, moving in 5 days and can't take it with me. They had a phone number on the website, so I quickly composed a text. They responded pretty much instantly, and the exchange went something like this. Hi, I was wondering if anybody has taken in your cat. If they haven't, I'm able to provide her a good home. No, they have not, and we are moving in 5 days. Blunt reply, I thought. No questions or response to me having the cat. Okay, well, I could come and get her this evening, or I could wait until moving day if you wanted some more time with her. It's up to you. She will have a nice life here. I already have another black cat she can play with. What food is she on? Come get it tonight at my address. It doesn't eat cat food, we just feed it chicken and things. Okay, see you around 5 PM, if that's okay. Is she up to date with flea, worm treatment and vaccinations? Yes, 5 PM, and yes it is. Okay, see you then. About 3 hours go past and I get a text from her. Bearing in mind this cat was listed as free to a good home, and the fact that cats, at least in the UK, usually don't sell unless they're a designer breed, as there are so many unwanted strays already. Kittens can make £30 to £50, but cats, nothing usually. The choosing beggar texted me, make sure you bring the correct amount of money, I don't have change. What? The cat was listed as free to a good home. How much do you want for the cat? I wasn't looking to get another cat, to be honest. I just saw your listing and thought she was in need, so I offered her a home. I want £45 because that's how much I paid for its donation fee when I adopted it in 2013. Got someone else interested that is gonna pay it, by the way. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking to buy a cat. I think we have our wires crossed. I was concerned about the cat not having a home because you're moving, so I offered her a place. I'm not actually looking to purchase another cat, but I was willing to give a home to one that was in need. If your cat's not in need, then it's best you give it to the other person, so I can keep my eye out for animals that urgently need a home. The choosing beggar doesn't reply for an hour or so, even though our text exchanges are usually instant. The cat is getting put to sleep then. This is in the UK, that means euthanized. The other person changed their mind and no rescue will take it because of its age. You don't need to get her put to sleep, I will have her. But I get nothing and you get my cat. Because you said you can't take her. Surely it's best she goes to a loving home rather than be killed? Plus, you will have to pay to get her put to sleep, so you will be out of pocket. No, I don't have to pay because the PDSA are doing it, so it's free. I've just made an appointment for tomorrow. PDSA are a UK charity that provides basically free vet care to those on government support in exchange for a donation. At this point, I was getting fed up, and I just decided that I would pay the money, as I was fed up with the back and forth, and I didn't want her to actually euthanize the cat. Oh, look, I have the money, so please cancel the appointment. I will be there at 5 o'clock like we agreed. Okay. I turn up to their home at 5 PM on the dot. I brought a cat carrier with me as I'm not expecting she will come with anything. I'm greeted by a rough-looking woman in a house that smells like marijuana and has no carpets, just bare, stained floor. The walls were yellow from nicotine and there was a punch mark in the living room door. I can hear dogs barking from the garden. How lovely. Despite this, I'm polite, and I'm led into the living room where the cat is asleep on the sofa. There is a cat bed in the corner which has a mother cat in feeding, about 6 to 7 tiny baby kittens. I sit down to stroke her, during which I see 2 more cats stroll into the living room. One obviously heavily pregnant, although these cats seem a lot younger and healthier than the one I was taking. I thought it was odd, as she said she was moving in 5 days, but there was no evidence of packing, and there were several paint pots that had been tested on the wall, as if they were in the process of redecorating. Anyway, I paid £50. I only had 2 £20 notes and a £10, so I just gave her that. She then had the audacity to ask me if myself or anyone I knew would be interested in a kitten for £60. I said no. I scooped up the cat and got the heck out of there. I realised in the car that the cat was infested with fleas. I didn't know what to do, but I have 3 small children, so I couldn't risk a flea infestation in our house. Instead, I put her in the summer house in the garden, which has a sofa, pillows, blankets, etc., and let her spend the night in there. In the morning, I took her out and have since completely fumigated it. I took her to the vet, who treated her for a number of problems, including fleas, worms, severe malnutrition, she weighed half of what she should, burn marks on her belly, which the vet described as looking like they were done with a cigarette, a severe heart murmur, overbreeding. The vet said it was apparent that she had been used a significant amount of times to have kittens. Oh my word. The vet also told me the cat wasn't 10, but was about 17. The vet took the details of the woman who I got her from, as he said he was going to report her, as he'd never seen a cat in this bad of a shape. A hefty vet's bill later, and we were both home. She loves her new life here and has really come out of her shell. She loves her cat friend. I don't know how long she has left, as the heart murmur is pretty bad. The vet said it wouldn't have got to this stage if it was detected and operated on much sooner, but for now, she is loving life. A happy ending to this story about a POS choosing beggar. Honestly, yeah, this person is, I guess, a choosing beggar, you know, demanding £50 for a cat she's just going to give away anyway. But it's way, way worse than that. She's more just a horrible, horrible POS person. I can't quite believe, you know, multiple things that I just read in that story. So disgusting. I've got to get my head around that. I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes. Alright, so quickly let me just list off everything that happened there, which was absolutely terrible. I mean, the thing that stands out to me is saying to this woman, this lovely, lovely woman, by the way, who was taking in an elderly cat just to save her from you know, being in a horrible life that she's lived for the last 17 years. Well, 10 or 17. Firstly, saying, if you don't come up and pick up my cat and pay £50, I'm euthanizing it tomorrow. What a toxic, manipulative thing to do. I mean, say if you don't come and get it, the cat's dead. I've booked an appointment. I don't care. Wow, that first of all is horrible. Second of all, using it to breed and probably sell on kittens for £60, as the woman said, even though, it's just massively damaging to the cat as a mother. You know what, guys? I've realised there's just way too much for me to cover. I'm going to move on. We all just know this is a horrible, horrible person and goes way beyond what I'd expect from a choosing beggar. Just a horrible person that needs to be reported, and thank God she has been. Now moving on to our third story. Risk your life for 13 an hour. So, to clarify, I'm high risk. I have chronic respiratory problems, and if I were to catch COVID, it just wouldn't be pretty. So I'm cooking dinner, and I get a call from this medical facility scouting me. I have a couple degrees they felt would line up with what they're looking for. I don't want to work in a medical facility, so I was already not interested, but networking or whatever, so I stayed on the line. This is how they describe the job to me. It's part-time, about 35 hours a week, and there will be no benefits. I absolutely need my own reliable transportation because it will also be on call, and I need to feel comfortable coming in on my days off and working overtime. I will need to communicate with different patients in a different language and interpret for them. I'm bilingual but not certified, nor fluent enough to interpret in a medical setting. It's also a super high-stress environment and will be under direct supervision of several different managers at once. I will need to be cross-trained in over 5 different positions. I'll be working with patients with COVID and people exposed to COVID daily. So look, I stopped them right there. I said I'm absolutely not comfortable being exposed to COVID. I said maybe they are mistaken by my education and work experience. I clearly told them that I am not a medical professional and have no medical experience, and I believe it's not safe for me or the patients to have an inexperienced person work with them in a medical setting. Oh, but they reassured me. We provide the proper PPE, and of course, just wash your hands throughout the day and wash your clothes after every shift. And if you get COVID, you get COVID. There is only so much you can do to prevent it, I responded, well, it matters to me and my family if I get COVID or not. He pauses for a moment and says he's browsing over my resume more, and I think he double checks my education and sees it's social services. And all of a sudden he's like, I feel very confident we'd take good care of our patients here. I just say, But guess what? They still want to offer me the job though. They asked me how much is my usual rate, and I figured I would humour them. I say, well, for that kind of job and with hazard pay, I'm thinking about $80 an hour. Without skipping a beat, he says, I understand. Well, the most we can offer is $13.50 an hour. Are you flexible on that? We would like to have you on our team. I practically just hung up there and then. I mean, guys, I don't know about you, but I reckon that's a great deal, $13.50 an hour, part-time, 35 hours a week maximum, to potentially get COVID and die. Like, what is not to like about that? It doesn't matter that you're high risk because you're working and you're getting money for the work, so who cares? And you know what? As they say, everyone's going to get corona and probably die, so who cares if you get it? You just delay the inevitable, man. It makes so much sense to me. Stop being such a loser and take the job. Seriously though, imagine saying, genuinely, for that risk, I'll do 80 an hour. That's the minimum I can do because I am going to be risking my life if I do this. I'm very high risk. If I get corona, I may well die. It's a massive risk, so I need to be financially supported if I do this. And then they say, well, it's a lot. It's quite a lot. We can offer $13.50. Are you flexible on that? Like, dude, that's 5 times less. Nearly 6 times less. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now moving on to our final story of today's video. It's just called simply Ungrateful Choosing Beggar. Ugh. I just got so burned today, I need to vent. I presume that's probably but I wanted to say ugh because why not? While waiting in my car to pick my... Actually, you know what? If you're still watching right now, just comment ugh down below, UG, and everyone's going to think, what is going on here? So comment it down below. Anyway, while waiting in my car to pick my husband up from work with our almost 2-year-old son in the back, a random guy waved at me for my attention from the sidewalk. I rolled down my passenger side window, the one nearest him, and he immediately started thanking me profusely for acknowledging him. Okay, I got a feeling where this is going. So, I'll preface by saying that if anyone begs me for money, I have a personal policy that I will never give cash. I've been conned one too many times, but I will always give out water and or snacks. With a toddler, I usually have those on hand. He He gives me one of the many creative stories that I have heard over and over. We have quite a few beggars in our small town. This time it's that his grandchildren are starving and he needs some food for them. He seemed surprised when I immediately said, "Okay, here you go," and handed him 2 granola bars. These are the overpriced toddler superfood granolas too. I try to get the good stuff for my son. The man shakes his head though and says no, that he wants to get his grandchildren some bologna and cheese, and if he can have money to buy them food, they won't starve. I told him all I have are these granolas and hand them to him out the window. He again asks for money and I say I don't have cash on me, but these will keep them fed until you can get them some bologna. I wish him well and say that I hope this will do for now. But the beggar man looks me dead in the eye and says, "No, it won't." Then he turns around and takes the granolas with him. Whatever, I tried. My husband gets in the car and we leave. Oh, for a second I thought your husband could be the choosing beggar there. That'd be unbelievable. As I rounded the corner, the beggar man is walking up to a crosswalk as we approach a light. He doesn't see us. I watched him toss the granolas as high as he can into the air and keep walking up to the light. He seemed really annoyed. I was too. I couldn't believe it. Not just how ungrateful he was, but the audacity to waste good food and litter. So I pulled my car over into the parking lot at the light and got out. Now he saw me. The granolas were right in between both of us, and he turned right around to snatch them up. I walked up. I am not confrontational by nature, but I was super mad. He said some BS about being so happy that he threw them in the air to catch them. BS! I just watched you! You tossed them and walked away! Those were for my baby and I will take them back if you don't want them. He said it's fine, he'll eat them, and proceeded to open one and take a bite. So I just asked flatly, "What about your grandchildren?" He just turned and walked away. Well, the title makes sense now. A literal choosing beggar. That is the most pure type of choosing beggar that you can find, I presume. Yeah, weird one. If you're gonna say, I want food for my grandkids, don't then not take the food that has been given to you. That makes no sense. I mean, in that situation, if you're gonna want money, just say, you know what? I'm a beggar, man. I'm homeless. My life's not great. I mean, I'm not really enjoying my life right now, and I don't have any means of making money. Could I please just have some money from you? You've got a job, you've got a car, something like that. But that's more real, isn't it, than saying, "Oh, my grandchildren are starving, they need money." That's fine. I guess probably that works on the majority of people. But then when you're handed money and you say, "Actually, you know what? I want more than that. I actually want money, not food." It doesn't really work, does it? Come on. What's a shame is that people like this actually give a bad rep to homeless people. I presume the majority of homeless people, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just presuming they're genuinely homeless and they really are struggling for money. And they take anything they can get. They take water, take a sandwich, take anything, If it's free food, if it's free drink, then yeah, it's great. People like this though, they just take the mick, man. They just make it worse for everyone else. And they make people like us who are watching right now think, you know what, I may not give a bit of food to that homeless person because they may just throw it back in my face. Don't think like that. This was just an exception, but it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/choosingbeggars. I've not made a video on this subreddit in a long time, so if you do want to watch another one, I'll leave a playlist on screen, but just bear in mind, these videos are all super old. For those of you that are still watching right now and you might be old viewers, you may want to go back and watch them anyway, for the memories. And also, if you are new, then make sure to hit the subscribe button right here as well, so you never miss out on my daily Reddit content.